In this video, I'm going to show you some tips and tricks for the new CCNA exam to pass it. Now go to cisconetsolutions.com and just go to articles CCNA exam tips and tricks. So this is a group of recommendations and best practices and things you need to know before you take the CCNA exam. The CCNA is a difficult exam, so you want to know what to expect, sorts of things you're going to need to pass the exam on first attempt as well. So the first thing and the best exam prep is practice tests. If you have experience, you can often get through the CCNA exam with practice tests alone if they're done correctly. But you really do have to verify before you spend $300 that you do have the correct understanding and knowledge to get a passing score on the CCNA exam. So with practice tests, you want to make sure that they are simulation exams, so they've got the same percentages and as on the actual exam, and so you want to be tested on the right topics and make sure that you go through and read the answers and learn from them as well. And on the new exam, they got rid of the simulation labs, so it's now just multiple choice, multiple selection, drag and drop, and there's some unscored as well, and you'll get things like, you might see a question on EIGRP for example, but they follow the syllabus quite closely, but there are unscored questions. It's often just for research purposes, and they do tell you that. So one of the first things to know when you get to doing the exam itself is the testing center. You'll get some laminated sheets to write notes on called a whiteboard. So you have to really know what it is you want to do with your whiteboard before you get there, and you can create them before you get there, and just to put the facts and figures and things that you want to do as a quick reference while going through the exam. But really plan it before you get to the exam. Know what it is you're going to write before you get there. You know, things like a subnetting table, a Class C subnetting table, a binary conversion table, administrative distance, application ports, things like that. There's an example here. You can click on that and you get a look at the kind of things that are helpful to you on the exam. There's a digital whiteboard as well, and it's similar to, say, a paint application, and it's not easy to use if you're doing the test from home. But that's what you're going to have if you do the online testing, is you're going to have a digital whiteboard. So know that it's from all accounts, it's not an easy. It's not easy as using the testing center, whiteboard where you're just going to go through and scribble notes that you want and all that sort of thing. So you want to know subnetting really well. It's kind of something that crosses multiple topic domains. So it's going to be part of learning it so you can answer a variety of questions from various different topics. So make sure you know that really well. This is a Class C table, and this is where most of the subnetting is done from. So make sure you know how to write that out really fast, and you can go through and do that on the exam itself. It's quite easy to do. And a binary to decimal conversion table. It helps because it's easy to make mistakes when you're in a 2-hour exam. Even though you know the table, it's easy to make errors with that conversion that you're going to need to do. And also, don't burn time with a question you can only guess on. So you run into questions sometimes, and you don't need to get a perfect score. The score is 82% to pass. So if you've got 100 questions, you can get, say, 15 to 20 of them wrong, something like that. So don't burn time. Time is very, very valuable in an exam. So if you really have absolutely no clue, take your best guess and move on quickly. And in some cases, you will have some sort of cluefulness where you can start eliminating a couple of options, and then you've got 2 left. And that, of course, makes it a little easier. Even though you're not as sure, you can use that sort of method to really take your best guess. There's some questions where you will draw a blank, so don't waste a lot of time with that. Take your best guess and move on. And don't click next button until you're satisfied. So there's no review allowed in the CCNA exam or CCNP exam. So once you select your answers and you click that next, you have to make sure you're satisfied with it, because there is no review, or at the end of the test as well. So there's no back button either, nothing like that. So once you've answered questions, kind of be satisfied and don't waste time, considering your answers. Just kind of move on to the next one and stay focused and don't get flustered. In complex questions, you'll get some of those, and what I mean by that is just questions where they're sometimes a little longer, where you'll have a picture or an image, and you have maybe a few lines of iOS script where you have to go through and kind of go through it a couple times, read it carefully. And I've got a sample question here that shows about a keyword, and you can go through and read it at cisconetsolutions.com. So that'll give you some ideas of the exam. There's also a course I have coming out in probably 2 or 3 weeks, and that'll go through, and it's actually a course to prepare for the CCNA, and it goes into a lot more information as well.